Hello, my name is Erica Lopez. I'm 24. The day that I found out that I was pregnant, I really thought it was going to be negative, but it turned out it was positive. And the first thing I did was go to my cousin and, say, what do I do? And she's the one that told me to come to this place. She came to this place for both of her pregnancies. And I didn't know what I was going to do with my pregnancy, which at first, the first thought that came to my mind was, I can't have this baby by myself. I can't do it. I barely know this guy. We weren't together. But I knew in my heart that the other option was a bad option. It wasn't the right thing to do, and I decided to come here before even telling my mom or anybody, even the dad. I hadn't even told him yet. I came here and I got a counselor in there, and they told me my options, and they gave me some time by myself. And then she comes in and she asks me if she can pray for me, which that was to me the first sign of hope in this place, that she said, can I pray for you? And then they scheduled me for my first sonogram to see if there was a baby growing and how far along I was. And that's when I met Nurse Jill, which she has been the best part of this whole thing, along with Katie, of course. But Nurse Jill first was the best thing that could have happened to me in this place. She told me I was 7 weeks pregnant, which was way more than I anticipated it to be. And then once again, she asked me to pray for me, and the more prayers, the more safe I felt in this place, and the more comfort I felt, and I felt like I was getting helped, and I felt okay. Every time that someone would ask me if I was okay, I felt better every time, and just came to my senses of this, this is a life that needs to come into the world. And they scheduled me again 2 weeks later, and I decided to tell the dad, and then they offered me some counseling for me and him. They offered for me to bring him in and for me to tell him with them in front of them, and which I thought that was great, because I was scared to what he was going to say. Was he going to tell me to abort it? Was he going to tell me to keep it? And but thankfully everything worked out well with me and him. Then it was time for me to find out my gender, and for that too I came by myself. So that was a very lonely time for me, because I was still single, and Joe would be there holding my hand and helping me through everything. And then I believe the witness that came in for me to know my gender was Katie, and that's when I started the relationship with her. Then just a few months later, they invited me back for some parenting classes, and thankfully at that time the father of the child came in with me, so that was great. So every Tuesday we would make it a whole date to come over here and do our classes, which we were along with 3 other couples, and it was awesome to learn everything with people who also were on their first babies. And what an experience to have classes and someone teach you what you can be expecting, because I was coming into this blind. I had never even held a newborn baby. I had never had any experience with any babies. So it was definitely a lot of help to have a lactation person come in and someone to teach us about car seats and CPR. We learned how to give newborn CPR, which that's a good skill to have. Every class we would bring in a little basket that they gave us, and they would fill that up with some cool gifts, which every time I put my baby on something that Pregnancy Help For You gave me, or a blanket that he has, I always tell everybody, oh, I got this from Pregnancy Help For You. If they tell me that they liked it, I'm like, oh, Pregnancy Help For You gave it to me. We got a car seat at the end of those classes, which was awesome, because everything for babies is very expensive, which you never realize how expensive things are until you have to buy them yourself. And I'm so excited for them to get to meet him, and for Jill to keep in touch with me, and Katie still has my number and she still asks me how I'm doing. This is Santana. He is 1 month old and 4 days. And I do want to end off by telling you, Jill, how much you meant to me through this whole thing. If it wasn't for you, Jill, I don't know what I would have done. I don't know if I would be here, if my baby would be here. Really, if it wasn't for you, I don't know what I would have done. So if anybody that felt like they were alone and they just found out they were pregnant and they're not in the best circumstances, which I don't think anybody ever really is when you find out you're pregnant, to come here. Definitely to come here. This is a very good safe spot for you to come, and they will offer you like counseling and prayer, which everybody needs prayer. This is definitely the place for any lost girl to come into and feel safe and find themselves and find the bravery in them to have the baby, because that's the right choice to make.